Hello and welcome to this on-demand video brought to you by Hertfordshire Growth Hub. The session is called Pranayama and Stress Management. It's time for you to take a breather. I'm going to hand over to Stephanie from Eureka Coaching, who will talk you through the presentation for today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
There you go, Stephanie. I'll hand over to you and then you can take control of the screen. Brilliant.
Brilliant. Can you see my screen all right?
Absolutely fine. It's perfect.
Fantastic. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining. So my name is Stephanie, and today we're going to do a quick webinar on pranayama and stress management. So pranayama means breath work, to clarify. So what we're going to learn today is about taking a breather and understanding on how can we use breath work and pranayama to reduce stress and manage our stress levels. So before we start, if you have a piece of paper or anything, I want you to note down one word on how you feel. It can be one word, it can be a sentence. You can just take a minute on how you feel. So that can be I'm very happy, I'm excited, it can be I'm really stressed or I'm very tired. Whatever first comes into your mind, pop that down. I will explain later on what we have done that for. And then you can just put that away on the side. So first of all, I'm going to quickly introduce myself before we're going to start. So as I said, my name is Stephanie, and I'm a breathing practitioner and a director of Eureka Coaching. So I'm a trained executive coach and breathing practitioner, and I support people all around the world within their well-being, especially around stress management. So I work with a lot of businesses and a lot of people and startup employees to see on how we can reduce their stress levels, but also how to reduce their perceived stress. And I use quite a lot pranayama, breath work, to support them and enable them to deal with more stresses and bounce back better and quicker. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to firstly quickly explain what pranayama is, what breath work is, then a quick understanding of what stress is and how stress affects us. We all know sort of what stress is, we all know what stress feels like, but how does it affect us and how can pranayama help with it? And then in the second half, we are going to talk about 3 breathing practices where you can take them home with you and practice them within your daily life. So as that is all recorded, you can remember exactly at which point each exercise starts, and you can use that as well for your own recording, your own guidance if you do them. So let's understand first what pranayama is. So pranayama, breath work, comes from the yogic tradition. So yoga has quite a few limbs, 8 limbs, which of which yoga, so kind of asana. So that's what we know as yoga here, kind of that Jimmy, quote unquote, practice. And pranayama is the next step up, where that's breath work. So that's where we are focusing on our breath. And translate that into English, it would be taking control over your vital life force, taking control over your energy, which we have. So having the ability to take control over your own emotions, over your own energy is vital, because stresses are coming around, and how do we move with it, and how do we explore them, and how can we overcome those stresses as well? And that's something breathwork can do. So think back at any time where you felt incredibly stressed. Sometimes taking a breath helps, right? So essentially that's what it is, where we are taking a breath, we are controlling our breath and having the ability to bounce back really quickly. So having a steady breath and having a steady mind helps us to keep our body function and healthy and happy. So that's basically what we do with pranayama to boost our mental and physical health. So the benefits of it, and pranayama is a nearly 3,000-year-old tradition. So it goes quite far back. And there are some recent studies starting from somewhere around the 70s, where it also talks about pranayama and the effect on our mental and physical health. So here below, there are some, like a very reduced list on what it does. Bearing in mind most admission to the NHS, to your GP, most illnesses are stress related. So reducing stress is vital. Also increasing our focus. We all have our businesses, we all have our jobs, our lives, and it gets more and more complicated the older we get as well. And having the ability to kind of very focus and able to switch tasks better and able to bounce back from good news and bad news helps us. So pranayama can help us with that. Also regulating emotions, reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, a really, really big one. Personally, pranayama breathwork has helped me to overcome my anxiety, to manage it, and to feel healthy again, right? And kind of being very in control over it. If any one of you has high or low blood pressure, that helps. Any other health conditions, also helps with it. COVID comes a bit around again, depending on when you watch the recording. But through COVID, some of our lung functions have also been reduced, depending on the severity of if you had COVID. So pranayama and breathwork can help to strengthen the healthy parts of your lungs. To underline that, there are some studies. If you are interested in kind of getting either those studies or kind of knowing a bit more, below there is my website. On there you can just drop me an email, or it's just hello@eurekacoaching.com. So I can always send them to you. But those research papers, and there's so many more, there are thousands out there, they underline and highlight how breathwork can reduce significantly any stress levels of professionals, but everyone, every human being essentially. It also helps in anxiety and depression, high in your cognitive function, really, really important. It also helps you to just live a very healthy life. So again, if you want to know a bit more about it, drop me an email. So how does stress now affect us? So we just talked a bit about pranayama and how breath work can help us to live a nice, healthy, happy life, full of control and vitality. So now life happens and stresses do come our way. And I always say, stress is always there, but the way we respond to stress, that's the art, that's stress management. That's how we are able to maneuver our lives around. So stress has an effect, and a direct effect on our mental and physical health, because we respond mentally and physically to stress. So if you think about if you feel stress over a period of time, you may get a tummy ache. You may feel very tight in your shoulders. That's your physical response. If you feel the stress for a longer period of time, you may be a bit snappy. You may feel a bit sad, depressed potentially even as well. So that's your emotional side and your mental side of your stress response. So that's chronic stress. So chronic stress means having stresses constantly and not being able to bounce back, to relax, to see the other side of life. There are also stress which are great, right? Kind of, I am now holding a webinar. There are certain stresses in my body that keeps me alert, that keeps me awake. Those are great, right? But after a time, I also kind of want to now move into it and kind of feel a bit more relaxed into it, so I can be a bit more attentive to everyone. So that's then the acute stress. Sometimes that happens, something happens, we're a bit stressed and we can bounce back. And the difference between incredibly successful people in life, incredibly happy people in life, to those who may struggle, is the ability to bounce back from stresses. And pranayama, especially kind of when you practice it for a longer period of time, those help. So studies have shown that when we are able to experience stress and then bounce back quickly, that helps us. And meditators, long-term meditators, they are the masters of it, because they have practiced being so far, so close to at the moment right now, that they're not worrying before and behind what just happened. They're in the moment. So practicing breath work definitely helps with it. So now the impact on stress our body, I've just mentioned a few. Physically, increase of heart rate. So if anyone has a blood pressure machine, for example, lying around at home, you can try that out yourself later on as well. You can have a difficult conversation, you can have a run, you can feel a bit more stressed, get yourself a bit wound up in a healthy way, measure your blood pressure. And then you can also breathe deeply, which I'm going to show you later, and then measure your blood pressure. Your blood pressure reduces drastically. So that kind of has that physical effect on things. Your headache, kind of that's, if you're very stressed, we experience very much headaches, and it's always said, drink a glass of water, which really helps, but taking a few deep breaths really, really helps as well. So I'm not going to go through now the whole list. You can read through them. You can always rewatch, and you can pause, obviously, and read through them. But those are all the physical and mental kind of responses to stress. And thinking now back on to the benefits of pranayama, those are really, really closely related. They're essentially one list, right? So obviously both lists are reduced, but they help to kind of just showcase how much pranayama helps with stress response. Always to think about taking a breath and you feel better. And that's what pranayama is. What I really want to highlight before I go now into the different practices and exercises which you can do throughout your whole life. If we are always going to the gym, for example, like every day we go to the gym for an hour and keep ourselves healthy through that way. But if you then go after to McDonald's and have a whole meal deal, or I don't know how they call that, then that's not really nice, is it? Then that kind of has a counter effect. So about pranayama and breathing every day and creating that into your daily life, and that routine is incredibly important. Also have a look on like other bits and bobs around your life if you do experience quite a lot of stress, on how you can create other safe havens within your life. For example, having a walk in nature, or at least somewhere around trees if you live in the city. That definitely helps. Having a walk with a friend, or just someone you can quickly talk to, even if it's on the phone. Having a good cry as well is fantastic. But sometimes we just need to cry, and everyone sometimes needs to cry, and we feel better. That's kind of an emotional overload, right? And we just let go, and that's okay. We talked about exercise as well. Sometimes sharing with a friend, and in that way, not necessarily looking for tips, but just kind of spilling it out, talking about it, incredibly helps with your mental health. And excuse me on that. And then also eating healthy, right? I've mentioned McDonald's, right? Maybe see if you can eat a bit more vegetables and fruits, drink a bit of more water, and instead of the tea, right? Or herbal teas instead of black tea. So simple switches within your life can have a massive effect. And I'm not saying never ever eat sugar, right? Or fried food or whatnot. I'll do that as well. But just instead of a chocolate bar, maybe see if you can eat an apple sometimes. And kind of that already kind of has a massive effect on your stresses and your health as well. And then, of course, breathing, taking a deep breath and taking regular breathing exercises is massively important. So now let's talk about different breathing exercises and different breathing tips I can give you. Excuse me, I am just moving that. Okay, so one of the exercises I wanted to share with you is Brastica. So Brastica is a fantastic breathing tool. Excuse me, I'm just sorry for kind of puffing about. So Brastica is a form of pranayama, which includes very fast breathing. Before we go anywhere here, if you do have high blood pressure, if you have any other health conditions, or you're pregnant, or even to some extent on your period, if you have loads of period pain, don't do this exercise. Right? Do the next one, which I'm going to show you later in the mornings during the time. If you're not sure, drop me an email. Right? It's just hello@eurekacoaching.com or on my website, and you can find that out. Right? So kind of be really a bit aware of that. The way it looks like, and we're going to practice that in a bit together. If anyone has heard of Wim Hof before and has used his techniques, he's using a form of Brastica, about like a form of that quick breathing. So kind of it's a bit faster. So we're going to practice that in a bit. I want to guide you now through what is going to happen. So ideally you will want to find a comfortable position. If you can, sitting on the floor or like on a little cushion, where you can sit, where your knees are the same level as your hips. If you are sitting on a chair at the moment, you kind of don't want to kind of move around, that's okay for now. Make sure when you sit though, that your back is straight up and is not leaning on your chair. So you want to have kind of that very straight one line from spine to the top of your head. And while we breathe, we're going to connect with our diaphragm. So our diaphragm is a muscle that sits right underneath our lungs. So our lungs are from kind of collarbone somewhere here to somewhere around just up until the like kind of just above the belly button, kind of where your rib cage is ending. And that's all lungs. And right underneath sits your diaphragm. And your diaphragm is an incredibly strong muscle that kind of moves down when we breathe in to give our lungs a lot of space, and to move back up when we breathe out to kind of help to let go of the air. So now when we practice that, I'm going to guide you through it. See if you can connect with that diaphragm. It will get easier with time, especially the more you practice the other exercises I'm going to show you later. Connect to that. We are going to do first a very short round of just 4 breaths. We then are going to extend that to 8 breaths. So kind of we have a bit more exercise in there. We're going to do 3 rounds. After every quick breathing round, we're going to hold our breath. We're going to breathe in deep and hold our breath. And in that way, we are allowing our body to get back into balance, to have enough CO2 and O2 in our body to feel okay again, right? Because essentially we are getting ourselves into hyperventilation mode. That's a fantastic exercise in the morning because it gets you a bit awake, but let's try that out. So if you like, get yourself into a comfortable position, ideally sitting straight up. And whenever you're ready, if you like, you can also close your eyes or glance into nothingness. And straight away, allow your mind to connect with your breath. Feel the breath entering your nose tip, entering your lungs, and then breathing out. Feel how your whole body is softening. Feel your deep breath. And see if you can connect to your diaphragm. that muscle underneath your lungs, pushing down when breathing in and pushing back up when breathing out. Feel your diaphragm and explore your breath. And allow your mind to stay connected to your diaphragm. And let's start with our exercise. Find your exhale and breathe in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Deep breath in, hold your breath. And whenever you want to breathe, you can breathe. Connect to your breath. Allow your mind to stay with your breath. Keep breathing only through your nose. Let's do this again. Find your exhale and breathe in and out. In, out, 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 in, out. Deep breath in and hold your breath. And whenever you want to breathe, you can breathe. Allow your mind to stay with your breath. Connect to your diaphragm. Feel the movements of your breath. And let's do this one more time. Find your exhale and in, out, 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 in, out. Deep breath in. Hold your breath. And whenever you want to breathe, you can breathe. Connect to your breath. Breathe naturally, without any force. Slowly you can wiggle your fingertips and your toes. And whenever you're ready, you can also open your eyes with a massive smile in your face. All right, before we do anything else, grab that same piece of paper, turn it around, and write down how you feel. Again, just a sentence or a word, whatever you want. So that's an exercise, which is fantastic in the morning. Especially, it's going to get darker and darker and colder. So we need something that kind of gets us going, right? So normally what we do in the morning, you either drink coffee or tea. We have a shower, right? We have like our morning routine. Before you do anything, you can do that if you go to the loo, right? First thing, you can do it straight in bed. Wherever you are, before you do anything, do that same breathing exercise. Connect to your diaphragm, breathe through your nose fast and count. Make sure you count and don't overstretch yourself. And in that way, that kind of gives you energy. It gets you going. It's better than any coffee, I promise, right? Not saying you don't have to drink the coffee, but it does help, yeah? So I use that for years now, and it really gets me going. It's fantastic. It's kind of that little energy push, routine, happiness that without it I can't, like I'm not the same person, right? So doing that, it really, really helps and gives you some energy. So now the next exercise, if you like, if you're watching at the moment, you can also click pause, reflect, take your time, grab a coffee, grab a water, sorry, that's what I wanted to say, too much coffee now. Grab a glass of water, can take a break, and then you can click start again. So now the second exercise is a very, very simple one. Doesn't require much knowledge at all and is incredibly effective. And that's something you can do throughout your day, wherever you are. Don't overuse it, right? But whenever you are about to give a tough presentation, have to have a difficult conversation, whenever you are commuting in between your meetings or before, after work, and it's sticky and it's cold or it's really hot, depending on how you travel, you can use that exercise. Mentioning travel, never breathe or do any breathing exercises while you drive. Please don't, right? But if you use publics, you can. So that breathing exercise called Ujjayi. So Ujjayi is generally known as the ocean breath here in the Western world, and it is known because of that, because of the sound you can create. So depending on how you feel, you can use that. You can also use a silent breath. Usually when you start learning, kind of when I kind of go through that with my clients, I start back to basic with no sound and then build up the sound. So I will explain to you the sound now, so you can give it a go as well. So the way we make a sound, and is more, you can more hear it than anyone else. So you can still do it in the train. You won't be outcast as doing something weird or doing breath work. So imagine you have a mirror in front of you and you want to hach it up, kind of like make it a bit steamy. You would do that, right? And if you do that same haching sound, and see if you can do that just with your nose. That's that sound. Essentially, we are going to close up that part of our throat to restrict the airflow. So we are kind of working with our nervous system and with our vagus nerve in particular, right? So again, the haching sound, just with your nose. Yeah. Try it out. Kind of while I keep talking, you can try things out now. If you have troubles kind of finding it, again, drop me a message. Or if you wish not to use it, especially if you're completely new, no need to overcomplicate things. Go back to basic, go simple, because you don't want to create more stresses in your breath, right? So now the trick on that breathing exercise is breathing equally. So that's the main focus. We are going to breathe in for a count for 4. We're going to breathe out for a count of 4. That's essentially all we do. We're going to breathe in equally. If you can, only breathe with your belly, kind of do deep breathings. That means if you put one hand between your navel, or just up on top of your navel, and the other hand on your chest. And if you breathe, see if only your lower hand can move and your upper hand stays still. And that's what we are going to do. We're going to breathe in and count for 4. We're going to breathe out and count of 4. So equally. And we're only going to do deep breathings. Only our lower hand on our belly is moving and the upper hand stays still. Yeah. So you can listen very carefully to the sound of your breath if you wish to. or just bring it completely silent if you wish to. That's up to you. We're also going to focus on equalizing our breath between both nostrils, right? So you have enough things to focus on to keep your attention on your breath. And that helps you to only just like with 10, 20 breaths to balance all your emotions, all your energies, all your thoughts, everything. So I use that breathing exercise, for example, today, just before I started the recording, I have started using it. Or I'm in the tube and especially Victoria Line, it's incredibly busy. And kind of those are kind of stresses for me that overwhelms me sometimes. So doing those breathing helps massively as well, right? So wherever you are, you had difficult conversation, a very long team meeting, instead of grabbing the Snickers, maybe do some breathing and see how far that takes you. Yeah. So let's explore that together. Same here. If you can, find a comfortable position on the floor to sit. If it feels more comfortable to you, or you just don't want to, you can also sit in a chair. And see if you can keep your spine straight and your shoulders drop. And whenever you're ready, you can also close your eyes. Straight away, allow your mind to focus on your breath. Explore breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And feel any little tingling sensations maybe in your nose tip when breathing in. And maybe explore the warmth when breathing out. And see if you can bring both nostrils into an equal breath. Breathing in through both nostrils the same as breathing out. When you take a deep breath in, follow your breath into your lungs. And you can put one hand on your chest and the other hand in between your belly button and your rib cage. And allow your breath to become a bit deeper. Breathing in deep, only your lower hand is moving. And breathing out. And when you breathe deep, see if you can count when you breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you breathe out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Count your breath. Make sure your breath is equal. Breathing in deep, fully, and breathing out fully. When you breathe in, allow yourself to expand, to grow, even sit a bit taller. When you breathe out, allow your eyebrows to drop, your shoulders to drop. Your whole body is softening. Expansion when breathing in and softening when breathing out. Breathing in deep, maybe a bit deeper, and breathing out fully. And take 3 more deep breaths in and equally out. Explore your breath and allow your mind to settle with your breath. You can slowly put your hands back on your lap. Allow your mind to rest. Allow your breath to become more natural again. And gently move your toes and your fingertips. And you can use your hands to stroke your body for a bit and give yourself a massage. Whatever you need to, your shoulders, your calves, your feet, your ears, whatever you need. And whenever you're ready, the corners of your mouth lifted, you can also open your eyes. And same here again. Get yourself your piece of paper and write down how you feel. Again, a sentence, a word, whatever comes to you straight away, write it down. So as I mentioned, Ujjayi is a fantastic breath that keeps you centered, that keeps you balanced. It's a great reminder as well to take a deep breath, right? And it also helps your body to embody those emotions, right? So kind of the more you do them in terms of time frame, in terms of do them maybe every day after lunch for the next month, the next 2, the next 3 months, your whole life. And you're going to embody a way of living, a way of dealing with stress that you're able to bounce back. Like the meditator who can bounce back of stress really quickly, you will be able to do as well. And that practice is completely safe for everyone, right? If you feel okay doing this ocean sound, kind of adding that restriction, go for it. If not, take it easy, let go, do a quiet breath. That's up to you, but kind of play with it and see and kind of use that moment of feeling back into your body and give your body essentially a rest. So the next exercise is an exciting one. It is very, very similar to what we've just done, but that's a beautiful exercise to once you want to go to bed. So it's called Visnam Vritti, sorry, and that's a breathing exercise that gives you the ability to fall asleep. So I have clients who couldn't fall asleep for years, who always woke up and fell asleep at one point at like 2 a.m. or something, or 3 a.m., and then just to wake up again at 4 a.m. and they now sleep like babies. So meaning kind of they go to bed and they fall asleep. And practicing that exercise every day really, really, really helps. So able to breathe long and fall asleep and forget about all your thoughts and to-do lists and whatnot is happening in your life. You're going to forget about them. So what you're doing is today, let's just sit down, because otherwise you may doze off. If you're ready to fall asleep, by all means lie down, ideally in your bed, ready to fall asleep. And what we are going to do today is, with that exercise, we are going to breathe in for 4 again, so very similar to before, and we're going to breathe out for longer. So the longer can mean 6 or 8. That's completely up to you, depending on your breath and your abilities. It will stretch eventually, and your breath will become longer with time and with practice. So the reason is during the day we breathe equally, and going to bed at night we breathe out a bit longer, is because when you breathe out longer, we let our body know and our nervous system know, our mind know, everything in our body, we let it know that we are ready to rest. You're safe. You're in the parasympathetic nervous system and we are safe. And doing that helps our mind to shut up, to kind of come down, to stop thinking and writing the to-do lists. Our whole body, our whole muscles, our hormones, they're all going into sleep and relaxation mode. So if you had a stressful day, when you come home, do the 4 to 4, what we've just done during the day. And when you're then ready to go to bed, do the 4-8, what we're doing now. So with that, it says here, take 20 breaths. Really? Some people take 3 breaths and they're knocked out. Once their breathing routine, their bedtime routine has started and they generally are in bed and sleeping. Sometimes it takes longer, that's okay. So we're gonna now practice that. If you wanted to have a longer version of it, so you kind of have the half an hour breathing session where you can just breathe, again, drop me an email. Kind of have all those links ready for you to go, yeah? But today we're going to do it short, so you have a bit of a flavor to it. All right, so same here as well. You're going to either sit or lie this time comfortably. If you're sitting, again, see if you can sit on the floor. If not, a chair's fine, as long as you don't lean on something. Keep your spine straight. And whenever you're ready, you can close your eyes. And straight away, allow your mind to focus on your breath. Feel how the breath is entering your nose. When you breathe out, explore your whole body to soften. And imagine a white golden light surrounding you. And whenever your mind wanders, that's okay. Gently allow your mind to come back into the white golden light, into your body and into your breath. Feel your breath. Explore the tingling sensations on your nose tip. When you breathe out, explore how the warmth is flowing out. And as before, see if you can bring your breath into balance. Breathing in through both sides of the nostrils the same amount. And slowly but gently can move with your breath through your nose tip, your throat, into your lungs. And allow your lungs to fill up. Breathing in deep. If you like, you can put one hand on your chest and the other one on your belly, between your belly button and your ribcage. And allow your breath to become deep and slow. And then breathing in, feel how your body is expanding wide. And when breathing out, feel how your whole body is softening even more. And see if you can bring your exhale longer. Breathing in on a count of 4. And breathing out a count of 6 or 8. So breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, and out 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and in, and slowly out. Find your own pattern. Count within your head. Breathing in for 4 and breathing out for longer. And feel how your diaphragm is pushing down, allowing your whole lungs to fill up. And when breathing out, feel how your belly comes back in, diaphragm pushes up, your whole body is softening even more. Keep breathing deep. With every exhale, allow your whole body to soften. Breathing in for 4, breathing out for 8 or 6. And take 3 more deep breaths. With every exhale, allow your whole body to soften. Your glutes are relaxed. Shoulders drop. Your tongue is relaxed. And slowly, whenever you're ready, you can also put your hands back in your lap. And while your eyes still being closed, you can slowly move your fingertips and your toes. Move your shoulders and use your hands to give yourself a massage. Very gently find your physical space. Give yourself a massage, stroke yourself, whatever you need, whatever you need. Whenever you're ready, with the corners of your mouth slightly lifted, you can also gently open your eyes. And the same as before, grab your piece of paper and just quickly note down how you feel. So now, all exercises we've just done today is something you can bring into your life straight away. You've just done it with me. You can have the recordings. If you want to have very specific recordings, again, just drop me an email. I actually have the next slide. Here we go. Stay in contact. You can drop me an email. You can find my email address here, or connect with me on Instagram or LinkedIn. And the reason is why I want to kind of just give that to you for free is that you can bring that into your life. Because I am myself an incredibly busy person, juggling life and business and studies and development and whatnot. And you may be similar busy. It doesn't have to be always a busy to-do list. It can also just be stressful for other reasons, of personal reasons. So having those exercises in place as a habit will help you tremendously. And for those who feel like, yeah, I'm fine, I don't really feel stressed, that's even better, that's fantastic. So definitely bring those into your life, because especially once you're not stressed and you feel happy and you sort of feel content, bring those things into your life so you can prepare for when stressors do come, because they are going to come. So having those into your daily routine really, really helps. If you'd like to know more, and if you'd like to be reminded or have either a business you'd like to share that with your colleagues, or even for yourself and dive a bit deeper, let me know. Just drop me an email. If you have any questions about certain breathing techniques, certain things you've just discovered yourself, again, feel free to get in contact. I'm here. I respond as soon as I can, usually within a day or two. And yes, it has been really, really nice having you within a session. Virtually is always a great way of connecting with loads and loads of people. And I can't wait to hear from you. And before we go off now, I've let you write down how you feel. And you may have already had a sneak peek and kind of look on kind of your comparison, but kind of just have a look into it on how you felt right at the start and how you felt after your breathing sessions. Kind of what words have you used? You can also think back and you can try that out, how you felt maybe an hour before the session or at certain moments within your day. Have you felt quite stressed, and did that breathing help you kind of a bit de-stress and are ready for the next step within your day? So just reflect a bit on it. And again, if you have any questions, I'm here, and I can't wait to see you and connect with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I am based in Waltham Cross, so I'm very local to Hertfordshire. If you have any questions, let me know. And have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for joining.